Phones down and heads up. The View is live. That's Al, folks. As new sexual misconduct allegations emerge, Democrats call for Senator Al Franken to step down.
Enough is enough.
Are they jumping the gun? Say what?
God bless the United States.
The president's slurred speech raises eyebrows and sparks an online trend about why he couldn't get the words out. Then, this year's breakout comedy superstar Tiffany Haddish is taking a girls' trip to The View. And Descendant star Sophia Carson is teaming up with Whoopi to unwrap some hidden holiday Disney magic.
This is amazing. It's just phenomenal.
Let's light up Hot Topics with Whoopi, Sarah Haynes, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Meghan McCain. Now, let's get things started.
Start by saying and telling everyone impacted by the insane California wildfires to do whatever you can to be safe. This is the biggest wildfire to hit the region in 56 years, and it is spreading at nearly an acre a second. And hurricane force winds are, dictating what direction the fire goes in. So, and
it must have something to do with the planet heating up, and it was so dry and hot.
Well, there hasn't been any rainfall for about 3.5 months. And so, when it gets very dry and dusty like that, anything, if you flick a lighter and there's a spark, I mean,
that's right.
If it finds something, it will burn it. So just whatever you can do to be safe, and, remember to keep your faces covered, because it's really the
air quality is
in the toilet.
I spoke to some friends that live there, and they were far away from sort of ground zero of the wildfires, and I said, "How you doing?" They said, "You can smell it from here."
I bet.
And I thought, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah.
And people are losing their homes.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Bel Air. It's in places that you don't normally hear. You usually will hear about San Bernardino or something, but this is
highly dense,
very dense in a very populated area. So depending on how the
it's
winds
often pairs with the first responders and the firefighters who put their life on the line every day. It's
unbelievable.
That selfless act, and I always, it's incredible what they're going through. That looked like literally hell on earth.
It is. It's
I saw a picture of a man walking in front of the fire and picking up a rabbit. And I felt, oh my God, a lot of animals.
Flee.
I think a lot of people who have animals got out in front of this and managed to get a lot of the animals to safety. But it's bad. It's bad. But California is used to burning up, and so we will.
The earthquakes.
Go.
Well, that's something else.
Well, the earthquakes are a whole other thing, but
that can happen too.
That happens here. We have earthquakes here all the time.
I was reading that we had an earthquake. I was like, I didn't feel anything, but it was apparently
you think it was significant. You think it's a train?
That's true.
Yeah, you don't realize that it's like, oh, what is that? Because you think, oh, why are we swaying? Oh, it's nothing, and you keep on moving.
That's
but
true.
oftentimes you
I
miss
felt it one time in the Bronx in bed, and I thought, well, this is great sex I'm having. But it was actually a little bit of an earthquake. I'm serious.
Were you even having sex?
It was, I was.
in the Bronx.
The best place to do
That's a story. That's it. That's a whole other story. And speaking of God, there's no way around this. So as new sexual misconduct allegations emerge against Senator Al Franken, he's set to speak at 11:45 Eastern Time this morning to reveal his plan going forward. Now, more than 30 Democratic senators are calling for him to step down. Question is, should he?
I think it might be strategy right now, because even though I think it's a false equivalent due to the nature of the accusations against Roy Moore, it's being used as a Roy Moore versus Al Franken. And I think when that's the leg that they're standing on and you're saying something has to be done, you have to hold yourself to that and say, let's just get our party clean, and then we can say we did the right thing. What about you?
So you think it's a sort of this, let's take the high moral ground and maybe others will follow?
It seems political. It seems very political. They're like moving chess pieces around.
Well, as Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. But it doesn't work for the Republicans, the Democrats, to go high, because the other party just gets lower and lower and lower, and they keep winning with the low qualities that they go for. I mean, look at Donald Trump is accused of assaulting women. He's in the White House. This guy grabbed a few women. I'm not saying it was great, but it's not in the same category as Roy Moore or Donald Trump. But and they go out and they say, well, he admitted it. Well, yeah, he admitted to the picture. That's all he admitted to.
But if you think out if you take out Conyers and Franken, and then people can't then say, well, you have this. It's like, to use a Karate Kid reference, it's like, sweep the leg, Daniel. Like, you just get there.
I get that, but I just don't think that they will.
Thank you.
I don't think it matters.
I was a little surprised that so many of the female senators came out, like Kamala Harris and Kristen Gillibrand, and I
Claire
started to think,
Maggie Hassan, Kamala Harris, Tammy Baldwin, Debbie. I mean, Heidi Heitkamp. It goes on and on.
Did you
you're right.
think maybe there were other? I thought, well, maybe there are allegations that they know about that we don't know about, and that's why they're getting in front of it? Or is it just, let me lead by example, Republican, and let me show you how it's done?
I think there are 8 accusers right now, and I think that given the climate
of Al Franken?
Of Al Franken, there are 8 accusers against Al Franken right now, and the tally keeps going up and up. I think, as you just said, when you have the female population in the Senate calling for you to step down, that's a whole entirely different thing. I also think that, I keep thinking of your sweater you wore the other day, the future is female, and I think that's going to be such an intense tagline for Democrats going forward in the next election cycle. I know that, if you'd mind me sharing, that you're a fan of Kamala Harris. I know that. You're comfortable with me sharing that. And I think those are sort of the people you're looking towards the future. And people like Kamala Harris don't want to be attached in any way with thinking that sexual assault or condoning it in any way is good for the party. And if you have Al Franken standing up at the DNC in 2020 making a speech, that are very uncomfortable optics. So yeah, politics is coming into play in this, but I also think 8 accusers are 8 accusers, and I think that these women are smart to.
Is there no room for apologizing and moving and going in front of an ethics committee?
Can I point out something? I mean, there may be 8 accusers there, but we have a guy sitting in office who has more than 8 accusers, and maybe there's not as many Republican women coming out because there's not as many Republican female senators. So maybe that's
a true fact.
There might be more. But the optics of this is no party should be supporting any of this.
1000%.
Yeah.
No party. So the guy, at the top, who people keep trying to say, well, they keep trying to forget the fact that he also has accusers, and they are very adamant. They're not quiet.
No.
They keep saying, we're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
One was on Anderson Cooper last night.
It's
getting away with it, and Al Franken won't, and that's kind of sad.
But will it change Roy Moore? Will it change that dynamic in Alabama?
Let's hold on and find out. We'll come back and talk about it. We'll be right back with Hot Topic. Hey, everybody.
If you're a fabulous fan of The View, get this.
It's that time of year again, and I got you the perfect stocking stuffer.
Ooh, and you're going to need one giant stocking, because we're giving away awesome gifts and epic trips. Stuff so good, it'll leave you singing, all I want for Christmas is you.
Good one. Happy holidays from The View.
So visit us on Facebook, like our page, and find out how to enter. Still ahead, Girls Trip's breakout star Tiffany Haddish and descendant Sophia Carson.
I stopped you all because we had to go to break.
Yeah, I was just curious. I was asking Megan, do you think this, if Al Franken steps down and all these Democratic women are coming out and asking to do so, do you really think that's going to change the dynamics of the Alabama race? Are then Republican women going to come out and say, you know what, Roy Moore, I will never vote for you. You should step down?
When is the race?
Do you think?
Yeah, soon. It's like the 11th, right?
Yeah,
it's a few days. Yeah.
Do you think it'll change?
Will it change any, other than the talking point?
We were talking this morning in the meeting that there's a lot of, obviously pedophilia is the most egregious, but he thinks being gay should be illegal. He thinks that 9/11 was a conspiracy. There are a lot of really radical beliefs he holds that are well out of the mainstream of, I wouldn't just say Republicans, I would say just most Americans. And if you are fascinated, his campaign manager's interview with Anderson Cooper is some of the most provocative political television I've seen in a long time. And there's a huge cultural divide, but I think Alabama voters are just dug in and they just don't want to vote for the other. And Doug Jones, I heard her call him Abortion Jones yesterday because he believes in late-term abortion up to, I think, don't quote me, but believe he believes in the latest term abortion possible and legal in the United States. So I think it's about abortion, as we've talked about on the show, but do I think it's going to make a difference? Unfortunately not.
So then why should the Democrats be calling for Franken's ouster?
Well, that's a good question. And why are they the only ones who seem to feel allegations are enough to force a resignation? I mean, is it because they apologize, they think it's soft, or, you know, maybe because Roy Moore and the other guy didn't apologize at all? No one's asking them.
Does anyone at this table think he shouldn't step down?
I'm not sure if he should.
I don't know if he should.
I'm not sure. I don't.
And what I really want is I want the ethics committee to try him so that I will know more, because I feel like that's what the ethics committee is there for. When a senator or congressperson does something that they should not be doing, we have a mechanism that says, here, we're going to put this out and we're going to find out. Because if he is dirty, then he's gone. But if he's not, then there has to be something else. And I believe in the law. I'm weird that way. I think it's okay for people to come so that people who are accusing can say, this is what he did to me.
And this is the process.
And this is and I think it should be the process. But I think they're coming so fast and furious, it's hard to...
Well, I feel differently about Conyers. I think, I think him stepping down because there were payouts and things, I can get on board with that. But like you're saying, this case, I do think we need to take it case by case to see something. So you feel, because with the Roy Moore, you can read a pretty in-depth article with named sources and friends of sources, and you kind of have to use your own head and say, does that seem real? And for me, it did.
It's like 30 people deep.
But I think with the Franken thing, I just don't know enough. But go on.
Go ahead, Julie.
I'm just saying, you're saying that the Democrats, and they're saying we're taking the high road. At the end of the day, Roy Moore will have a seat in Alabama, probably. We will have another vote. Al Franken will be gone. They may be able to put a Democrat in for now, and it's possible that a Republican will then take that seat. So we lose yet another seat in Congress, and the Alabamians, of course, will vote another Republican. So where is the justice in this? We are basically losing a Democratic voice in Congress. And may I just say that Al Franken is the only one who spoke out against Jeff Sessions, and then all of a sudden these allegations came up right after that. So I'm a little bit suspicious of what's going on right now.
So you think Leanne Tweeden, who came on, maybe wasn't...
I'm not accusing her. Don't put words in my mouth. I am not accusing Leanne of anything. All I'm saying is it's interesting. That's all.
And you know what they're saying to me right now? It's really interesting. You haven't gone to break yet. So we'll be right back.
I have
The
to do
View Store Online is one-stop shopping for everyone on your list this season.
My lovely Sarah, do you know what makes a great gift for the holidays?
I sure do. I got you one, too.
Grab your gifts from the View Store. It's packed with mugs, merch, and a whole lot more.
This is my favorite hoodie. It is so soft. It is so warm. I think it will be your favorite, too.
So get your holiday shopping on now, because the View Store Online is the place to be at Christmas time.
We have to make a couple of corrections. Megan, you want to go first?
Would like to clarify, Doug Jones's abortion position is, quote, the law for decades has been that late-term procedures are generally restricted, except in the case of medical necessity. That's what I support. I don't see any changes in that. It's a personal decision. That's an abortion stance.
So that's not bad.
I also have a correction. In Karate Kid, it's just sweep the leg. It's the sensei from the Cobra Kai's. I knew better, and I apologize for my mistake.
Try not to let that happen again.
I was surprised at that, Sarah.
I know. I let everyone down, and I'm just sorry.
Okay.
Well, things happen. Yesterday, The reality star in the White House declared the U.S. will officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and move our embassy there. But his speech was almost upstaged by the fact that what he could have been chewing gum, nobody knows. Take a look.
Let us rethink old assumptions and open our hearts and minds to possible and possibilities. And finally, I ask the leaders of the region, political and religious, Israeli and Palestinian, Jewish and Christian and Muslim, to join us in the noble quest for lasting peace. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Israel. God bless the Palestinians. And God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
United what?
So the White House says his mouth was dry, but the speech sparked a hashtag called Denture Donald. Now, a lot of dentists are implying that it might have been
A retainer?
a denture issue.
Yes.
Or sometimes, you know, if you have Invisalign, which I've had and you've had, sometimes it sounds different, but not quite like this.
I did a simulation in my dressing room.
Yeah, but you don't have
demonstration.
dentures.
However, I do have my retainer.
I can't believe you.
Oh, you say, God bless the United States.
But see, it's not a shh. He's not got a shh.
But it's
He's got
also
a
close. It's like something's falling out because it's coming in and out, in and out, in and out.
Bless. I think it's this. God bless the
No,
United
because
States.
then it'd be weird the whole speech.
It's this. It's a movement. It didn't use the bond thing or whatever.
So you have that retainer, and you have that retainer.
I have a built-in retainer.
Built-in retainers.
Yeah.
Don't you
That
think?
means if I sound weird, I consistently sound weird.
Yeah, he doesn't have a retainer. That's the clicking that you're hearing. And when you look, there's movement down here.
And he uses his lips to hold up.
So we'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's time for All I Want for Christmas is You. The ghost of Christmas future is right on Q. Q is a clever robot for ages 11 and up with wit and attitude that takes interactive communication to the next level. Choose your favorite avatar and explore an amazing depth of personality, expressions, and actions that let you chat, create, and code at the level that's right for you. This holiday season, Q costs $169, but thanks to Wonder Workshop, members of our audience are taking one home. Chance to win, each day by visiting our Facebook page and using the daily code you see on the screen. Good luck.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
So you both came upon a date today.
Well, I was thinking this morning, it's December 7th, and 1941. How many years ago was that? We were attacked at Pearl Harbor by the Japanese. Yeah. And I was just thinking, imagine it for a minute. You're here, and all of a sudden, your country is at war. Your children, your boys have to go to Europe and to Japan to risk their lives. I mean, we think it's bad now. Yeah. That was a bad day.
Yeah.
So let's bow our heads for that. You know, we all have members of our family who were in that war.
Go ahead, Mother.
I obviously echo everything Joy just said. It's just good to take a moment to remember our history and remember how many people died and sacrificed. All of us have families who are in the military and have served, and that's one thing that connects all Americans.
All Americans, that's right.
A terrible day.
And, you know, while we were talking, you know, everybody was talking about what was happening with Israel and talking about dentures. Some serious stuff was happening in D.C. A new gun law passed in the House that allows people with concealed carry permits from one state to take their guns to another state. Now, opponents say this completely undermines the strict gun laws in places like New York and that have different kind of...
Well, it's not a law yet, right? They just passed in the House.
They
It still has to go to the Senate, does it not? Yeah. So maybe the Senate will use their brains and not pass this horrible thing. I mean, I always feel safer in New York than other states because of the strict gun laws. I remember when there was that terrorist attack downtown recently where those poor Argentinian tourists were killed, etc. People were saying one of the reasons there wasn't more bloodshed was because of the strict gun laws in this city.
Right. And,
so let's keep it that way, Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah.
It is snowing behind my head. I just looked in the monitor and I thought, what is that? Why is that happening? And then I realized that it was snowing behind my head. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Tiffany Haddish here, and I gotta say, I had a great year, but it didn't happen overnight. I actually performed at over 500 bar mitzvahs, and since you never know in this business, I'm still available. Havana Gila, Havana Gila, Havana Gila.
Tomorrow on The View, hold on tight, because The View's Hot Topics are on fire.
Wow. Hey now.
Oh, yeah. But that's not all. The weather's perfect right here with Ginger Z. Tomorrow on The View.
Happy anniversary dinner, darling. I'm messing up every dish, pot, and plate.
Like this dress, I wore it on the red carpet for Girls Trip, and my whole team, they told me, Tiffany, you cannot wear that dress on SNL. You already wore it. It's taboo to wear it twice. And I said, I don't give a dang about no taboo. I spent a lot of money on this dress. This dress costs way more than my mortgage. This is an Alexander McQueen, okay? It's a $4,000 dress. I'm gonna wear this dress multiple times.
This has been the year of Tiffany Haddish, the breakout star of 2017's biggest comedy, Girl Trip. She was the first black woman comedian in history to host SNL.
It's crazy.
And she's one of People Magazine's most intriguing people of the year. She's written her memoir, so please welcome the author of The Last Black Unicorn, Miss Tiffany Haddish. How it should be, Miss Girl. That's how it should be. One of the great movies of 2017.
Yeah.
A comedy. I'm just pointing it out. A female-driven comedy with women of color, which they always tell you does not work. Let me explain. It made $100 million. $100 million. And all those producers and directors that were like, I don't know about you, I don't know. What they say? Are they calling now?
They've been calling, and I'll be like, oh, for real? Oh, for real? And then I'll hang up the phone and be like, nah, I'm too busy.
You sold that movie, though, and that's nothing against anyone else in that movie. I went to that, and I texted Sonny after. I was like, why am I falling in love with Tiffany Haddish? I was like,
right away,
you couldn't watch anyone but you. Like, you were, that was amazing. And this stat, which will be just mentioned in your intro, I found it hard to believe that you were the first black female comedian host of SNL. Did you even know that before you got there?
I'm going to tell you right now, I thought that Whoopi hosted it. I was like harassing everybody that I knew to get me her number so I could be like, girl, tell me how to do it. And then I called her, she's like, I just did a sketch. Bitch, you the first.
That's right. That's right.
It's time.
It's It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. And you
were
told me to do a good
magnificent.
job.
And
And I
well
tried my best to
deserved.
do it.
And you did.
Thank
You
you.
were magnificent.
Thank you, boo. Thank you. You know, I tried to represent.
So your new book is called The Last Black Unicorn. It's really funny, and she's got it right there. But you also include some really dark and painful things from your past, like, and this is a lot, growing up with a mentally ill mother, living in several foster homes, becoming homeless, and living through an abusive relationship. You said in the book you didn't intend to include any of this. Why did you change your mind and end up sharing it?
Well, I decided to share it because I felt like, you know I can't be the only person that's gone through these things or that is going through these things. And I figured if somebody reads this and see that I came out this way, they could be like, well, you know, if Tiffany could do it, I know I could do it, you know? And I just felt like it would inspire and raise, especially women, but guys too, up to another level in life where they can be like, I can achieve anything. Because really it's about how you think. I really believe in my heart, it's all about your thoughts. And if you believe that you can do something and do the work towards that, you can be and do whatever you want.
Very good.
Wonderful message.
Good girl. Some people have the constitution to overcome adversity. Others cannot as easily. So good for you. But how did you overcome the adversity of the male-dominated field of comedy?
Well, girl, that's a journey. And you have to be really strong. I think, you know, like, guys will try, they will try you, okay? Especially if you're cute, they try you. And I'll be like, no! They tell you you're not funny. They tell you if you do this, I'll give you this. If you do that, I'll let you open up for me. All these things they would tell me, and I would be like, I'm going to use my talent. I'm going to use my know-how. I'm going to use my work ethic to achieve. And then one day you're going to be asking to open up for me. And that's what happened.
That's how you do it. You rely on your talent and your work ethic. I love that. Brilliant. Yes.
And in fact, you say that the only place that the comedy saved your life, and the place that you feel safest is on stage.
Yeah.
How is that?
Well, let me explain to you, girl.
Yeah.
When you've been through a lot of things, you got to have your safe place, a place where you feel most comfortable. And for me, that's the stage. When I'm on stage, I know nobody can really hurt me. They can maybe yell things at me, maybe throw a tomato or something like that, but it's not going to really hurt me. And if somebody does try to hurt me, I have a room full of witnesses that will be able to tell on my behalf what happened. Right? So I feel like it's the safest place for me. And like nobody can really hurt you up there. And I got the microphone, I got the power. You know?
What does it do for you? Does it make you feel powerful?
Girl, yeah, you feel power. It's like for me, being on stage is like, it's kind of like, I guess, like somebody who does drugs or whatever, like they hide, they fix. Like, let me go 3 weeks without doing a comedy show, and I'm like, oh, I need to get on stage. It's working out for me. Like, I need to, like, it's my everything. It's where I feel like the best me that I could possibly be. Even when I'm failing, even when I'm bombing, I might be the worst. Nobody's laughing. They just all looking. At least they looking. You know, like, I feel like the most happiest there. That's why I'm the most happiest. They're in Bermuda. Anyway.
The best place.
You know, most people may not know that you performed at over 500 bar mitzvahs.
Wow. That's called dues. Paying your dues.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Because it's all about the work.
Right, it's about the work. And my title when I did the bar mitzvahs was energy producer, so I would bring the energy. My job was to get the
you were
party
like the
going.
hype person?
I was the hype. Yeah, I was the flavor of the mitzvah. Let's go, Mazel tov. Lion. Lift up that chair. You strong.
For a second, I was imagining you doing one of your sets for these 13-year-olds.
Oh no, that too. That too. I would do comedy too. Like I would MC, I would do stand up, I would like help the DJ out, I would get people dancing, I would choreograph dance routines for the grand entrance. Like I did it all, baby. 11 years.
When you need the money, you do it all.
But not just that. It also teaches you about a room.
Right.
It teaches you how to figure out if you're needed somewhere or something needs to happen. This is what dues are.
Right.
That's when you play all these different, that's That's what you love.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't wait to see if somebody breaks out a video of me at the mitzvah dancing with some old
I
man.
will pay for that
It'll show up.
I'm sure there's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
They probably don't realize it's me. They're like, look at that little skinny girl. She was in here. She was the only one.
Oh, they know now.
Only
Look,
one
they
with
know
the brown
now.
skin.
They know now.
I was at your party.
Really quickly, you call Kevin Hart your comedy angel. Why?
Right. Okay, so when I was homeless, we used to do this sketch comedy show, right? And I always tried to hide that I was homeless because I got a lot of pride. So I always kept my nails done and my hair done. And one day I'm rolling up in my Geo Metro and it got all my stuff in there. And he sees it and he's like, yo, what's going on? I said, I'm in between houses right now. Leave me alone. And so he's like, we got to talk after the show. We're going to talk. And so he pulled me to the side and talked to me. And he's like, why are you living in your car? And I just told him, you know, what was up. And he's like, you're a beautiful girl. Like, you could be living with any man. Any man would be happy to have you in their house. And I'm like, look, I'm not sleeping with nobody for a roof over my head, okay? I sleep with people to heal them.
Yeah.
So, he said, well, look, here go $300. Get yourself a hotel room for the week and, like, come up with a list of goals. Make a list of goals that you want to achieve and start tackling those goals. And so I took the money. It's like, you can't get no hotel room for a week in L.A. for $300. No. So I got me a little, like, hourly spot. Right. Took a shower, wrote out a list, and started tackling them. And here I am today.
Good for you.
Just personally, I've been waiting on you a long time.
I've been waiting on you a long time.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiffany Haddish. You are all going home with Tiffany's new book, The Last Black Unicorn. It's wonderful. You will love it. We'll be right back.
Next, Descendant star Sophia Carson
And the wave is like this?
talks about teaming up with Whoopi
This is amazing. It's just phenomenal.
to reveal some Disney holiday magic that'll blow you away.
Over the last few weeks, a number of women have come forward to talk about how they felt my actions had affected them. I was shocked. I was upset. But in responding to their claims, I also wanted to be respectful of that broader conversation, because all women deserve to be heard and their experiences taken seriously. I think that was the right thing to do. I also think it gave some people the false impression that I was admitting to doing things that, in fact, I haven't done. Some of the allegations against me are simply not true. Others I remember very differently. I said at the outset that the Ethics Committee was the right venue for these allegations to be heard and investigated and evaluated on their merits, that I was prepared to cooperate fully, and that I was confident in the outcome. You know, an important part of the conversation we've been having the last few months has been about how men abuse their power and privilege to hurt women. I am proud that during my time in the Senate, I have used my power to be a champion of women, and that I have earned a reputation as someone who respects the women I work alongside every day. I know there's been a very different picture of me painted over the last few weeks, but I know who I really am. Serving in the United States Senate has been the great honor of my life. I know in my heart that nothing I have done as a senator, nothing, has brought this honor on this institution. And I am confident that the Ethics Committee would agree. Nevertheless, today I am announcing that in the coming weeks, I will be resigning as a member of the United States Senate. I, of all people, am aware that there is some irony in the fact that I am leaving while a man who has bragged on tape about his history of sexual assault sits in the Oval Office, and a man who has repeatedly preyed on young girls campaigns for the Senate with the full support of his party. But this decision is not about me. It's about the people of Minnesota. It's become clear that I can't both pursue the Ethics Committee process and at the same time remain an effective senator for them. Let me be clear. I may be resigning my seat, but I am not giving up my voice. I will continue to stand up for the things I believe in as a citizen and as an activist. But Minnesotans deserve a senator who can focus with all her energy on addressing the challenges they face every day. There is a big part of me that will always regret having to walk away from this job with so much work left to be done. But I have faith that the work will continue because I have faith in the people who have helped me do it. I have faith in the dedicated, funny, selfless, brilliant young men and women on my staff. They have so much more to contribute to our country. And I hope that, as disappointed as they may feel today, everyone who has worked for me knows how much I admire and respect them. I have faith in my colleagues, especially my senior senator, Amy Klobuchar. I would not have been able to do this job without her guidance and wisdom. And I have faith, or at least hope, that members of this Senate will find the political courage necessary to keep asking the tough questions, hold this administration accountable, and stand up for the truth. I have faith in the activists who organized to help me win my first campaign and who have kept on organizing to help fight for the people who needed us. Kids facing bullying, seniors worried about the price of prescription drugs, Native Americans who have been overlooked for far too long, working people who have been taking it on the chin for a generation, everyone in the middle class, and everyone aspiring to join it. I have faith in the proud legacy of progressive advocacy that I have had the privilege to be a part of. I think I've probably repeated these words 10,000 times over the years.